So good morning, Charged Up Studio listeners. I am so glad you're here with us once again today. This is Dana Olivo, your host and CEO of Marketatomy LLC. So in a world where dreams are crushed, souls are forgotten, and rust never sleeps, our guest today is on a mission to ensure talented solopreneurs turn every business first impression into a second impression, where the sale happens. By raising their ROC or their return on return on conversation, so they can profit more without grinding more. My goodness, did we get into the marketing there? After decades on the corporate farm as a shy, introverted engineer, he realized that the cubicle could no longer contain him, so he escaped. It was a rocky road through the entrepreneurship in the financial and gym industries until he finally stopped ignoring his genius. Now he plays in it profitably every day. When he's not digging for business gold, he flies airplanes, brews beer, runs long-distance obstacle course races, and sets the bar low as a semi-professional comedian. Not the funny kind. Who knew all this about
Why does everyone always laugh at that? Everyone, when I say I'm not the funny kind of comedian, everyone laughs, and I don't. I say have a heart. That might hurt my feelings. I'm not supposed to be the funny kind.
Have you done stand-up?
I've written stand-up. I haven't actually performed stand-up, but I've done improv. So.
Oh, okay. David, my husband, went through some improv courses. So let's
improv is great.
So let's all give a warm Charged Up Studio welcome to Josh Zepess, the Identity Archeologist. All right.
Thank you. Honored to be here. Yeah.
Oh, definitely. Okay, so you're starting out on a whirlwind here with some of these questions that I've got for you. I have no idea what the hell they're going to lead into.
Nor do I, but let's see where it goes.
Yeah, we're going to go with it. So the first one, professionalism is a poison. What is that?
Yes, professionalism is a poison. Professionalism is that thing that we do that when we introduce ourselves, we try and say the right thing at the right time, and we try and be all perfect in everything. Well, here's the problem, Dana, is we can't be perfect and human at the same time. So the more perfect we try and be, the more fake we're actually being. And that puts that weird gut feeling, right, into the person we're talking to that called our brand. And people start getting that like, oh, this isn't right. This guy's a little weird, or this lady's, I'm not quite sure. Because my big thing is bringing humanity back to business. That's what this is all about.
I fully agree with that. I can't tell you how much I struggled being the perfect perfectionist in the early stages of my business, and I can't tell you how many times people told me, you don't sound like yourself, Dana. This is not you. I know you. You gotta be yourself. Don't worry about being, don't worry about what other people think so much. So
that's right.
Okay. So you want to bring humanity back into business.
Yes, for two reasons, actually. One, it's easier to be human and just to be yourself and tell the truth.
Yeah.
But it's also more profitable. People don't realize, they don't teach this in business school anymore, but people buy you first, your product second. Exactly. And if they don't buy you, they're not going to look at your product and service anyways. So it doesn't matter how great it is or how much they need it. You're the first sale that's got to be made. So it's actually more profitable to be human.
Well, people create relationships with the human being. They don't create relationships with the company.
Correct.
So it's the human being. And, that's why even in digital marketing, they say you're not marketing your business, you're marketing yourself. You want to brand yourself in digital marketing and social media, So, yeah, okay. Business and emotions do mix.
Yeah, when I went to school, I was told they don't mix. I was told, keep them separate. Keep your professional life over here and keep your personal life over here and be two different people. And I was always like, wait a minute, I'm one person. So am I lying to my clients or am I lying to my family? Like, what is this separation of personal and business? I want to destroy that line. That's one of my missions. I want to eradicate the line between personal and business. We're one person. We can be humans in business. Let's make that happen. So emotions and business do mix because, by the way, every purchasing decision starts off as an emotional one.
Yeah.
It ends up logical, but it starts off emotional.
Well, and I would think that, if you keep the emotion out of it, that's where that self-sabotaging feeling comes in. Because what you are is you are putting on a face, and you start thinking, what's to say that they're not going to figure this out. It's like you said, what was it? Lying. You said in the last one, you talked about if we continue to lie, eventually it's going to come out, and you don't have to keep remembering. You don't have to keep remembering that lie, that you're going to have to repeat over and over again. So
that's right. It's easier to tell the truth. It's just easier and more natural to tell the truth.
Yeah, and I would imagine most people, when they start talking emotion, it's like you're showing, what can I say, your weakness. I don't want to say vulnerability, because even though it is vulnerability, they don't look at it as that. They look at it as a weakness, all right? And we're under the understanding or the belief that in order to be an entrepreneur, you cannot be weak.
That's right. So there's mental toughness, kind of, you don't want to be mentally weak, but emotionally you want to be open and available. Because here's the problem. When you're introducing yourself as a professional, you kind of put yourself on a pedestal versus the person you're speaking to. And that kind of makes you untouchable, makes you unapproachable. And it doesn't help your brand. What you want to do is you want to hop off that pedestal. You want to put your arm around that person, like with words or metaphorically, and you want to be on the same side of the table as them, not in front of them, not their boss, not preaching to them, not talking to them. So to do that, your emotions have to come out. If you're not perfect, that actually makes them realize that, like, oh wow, this is a person. I can actually relate to this person because I'm not perfect. You're not perfect. You got emotions. You get pissed off. You get unhappy. You get sad sometimes. That's not a weakness.
Right.
That's honesty. That's actually will build the rapport a lot faster than being a robot.
Yeah, no, definitely. I see your friends in your lap there. I've got one too.
Yeah, this is Aubrey. He's a sweet potato with legs.
He is huge. Is that a barn cat?
Maybe he was. We don't know. He's a healthy boy.
Oh my goodness.
Aubrey.
Look at him. Oh, I've got one. It's all black with one little tuxedo white here. We call him.
Okay, nice. We have an all black one too called BK. He's somewhere else though. I don't know.
Yeah. So, let's talk a little bit more about, you say we all must be a lighthouse. What do you mean by that? Yeah.
So I like lighthouses, but I like lighthouses not for what they do, but for what they don't do, which is a little weird. You know what lighthouses don't do, Dana? They don't go out into the sea and convince the ships to come to shore in the storm. They don't go out and leave voicemail after voicemail after voicemail like we do for our prospects. They don't do that to the ship's phones. They don't take the ships out for a steak dinner and try and convince them, come on, come into shore. No, they just stand there. But they stand for something, and they know what they stand for. They stand for safety, security, shoreline, everything those ships in distress need when the storm comes. I think what if you were the lighthouse? What if we were all a lighthouse, and everyone, all the ships in distress, which is our prospects, the ones looking for us, they could see our light. They can see where to go to find the help that they need, because they're out there drowning. They're capsizing. They're looking for your light. And if you don't shine your light, they can't find you.
Yeah. No, I love that analogy because it's true. We can, like you said, cast the light or, show them the way. We can show them the way to get the help that they need without having to chase them down.
That's right.
As far as that's concerned. And
yeah,
it's also like a homing pigeon or just a, what am I thinking? You know, the lighthouse is there. You always know it's there. It's being able to focus on it.
Yeah. But what we need is clarity. The light has to be clear and it's got to be powerful. And this really goes to brand. This is like, so many people are shy. They don't want to share their brand. They don't want to stand for something. Most people don't stand for anything. They just, why are you in business? I don't know, make money. Like, what do you stand for? You've got to differentiate yourself. You've got a specific frequency of light that's got to shoot out. And so your people can find you. But most people, their light is off, or their light is covered over, or it's hazy, or it's confusing, or it's weird, or it's not authentic. That just doesn't work.
I've become more clear on my message and my vision, even though I had it all along. But over the last 4 or 5 years, I've become even more clear on how I, how I talk about what my brand is and where I'm coming from and what is my vision.
It all starts with clarity, all of it.
What is my why? What is my why? Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. Huh. Okay. Well, I know you've gone through a lot of changes too, so.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I was in the right? My background is corporate, 20 years as a shy, skeptical, negative engineer. So I broke free of that and did a complete 180. But what I did is I got closer to my true self. I actually found my genius. I found my expertise. I found my passion and monetized it. I actually created a service out of it. So I just got closer to home, right? I stopped believing all the lies.
Closer to home with COVID.
Well, that too. Yeah, physically closer to home, but I got closer to this home right here.
Yes. Well, and I think that probably opened it up for a lot of people is because by having to shut down and, stay in one place, meaning home, whatever, we started realizing what was really important to us, and that's family. That's the collaboration, the family, who really matters. It's not the greenbacks. It's not it's not making all the money that you can. That's not what's really important. And I think
a lot of people started searching for themselves too.
Exactly.
They started wondering, like, why am I in this job? Why am I in this career? Is this really my place? Is this my purpose? Does this fulfill my mission?
Right. And that's what brings us to the next statement that you said here. It's not what you do. Okay. We've done for so many years working for big corporations and, or little companies, but we've worked for other people. It's what we've done that has earned us our money. Okay. As opposed to our why and letting our why drive our revenue.
Yeah. So that being mission driven, not product driven. There's a difference.
Exactly. And by focusing on what is close to our heart, what our why is, everything else will fall into place.
It will. And people don't believe that, but everything's monetizable. That's the key. Everything's monetizable. So if you can make money doing everything, why would you ever start with what is profitable? What I got to do something to make money? No. Provide value to the world. And I promise you can monetize it.
It's going to come. That's exactly it, and not only that, the world will be much better. The world will be much better. I keep thinking, of my why and why we do what I'm doing, what we are doing with Market Academy and Market Atomy, and our why behind it and reducing the number of failed micro businesses. I think about, what is the residual, the expanding effect that's going to have not only on the U.S., but on the world. Okay.
That's right.
If we can just do that, we're going to find ourselves in a stronger position nationally. with our GDP and our labor force and stuff like that. But it's too easy to tax the citizens of the U.S. to make up the deficit in our GDP, rather than let's take a look at the whole picture here.
Yeah, but it's dangerous to empower people because what you're talking about is empowering people to bring their gift to the world, create value out of it, monetize it, right? And that's going to feed our economy. But boy, you're going to empower people. That governments typically don't like seeing that.
No,
bigger corporations,
right
the
now.
oligarchy, they're not a big fan of empowerment of others.
Especially right now, with what they're going. But when I work with my clients, and they come with a problem. They come with a problem. And they say, well, we need to look at this division, or we need to do this, or we need to do that. And because I take a very holistic approach, I say, are you sure that's what's really the problem? Because you need to get down and figure out what is the underlying issue. If you're not reaching your sales goals, if you're not reaching your revenue, or if your revenue is dropping, it doesn't necessarily mean that your sales aren't doing their job. Okay. You got to look at what depends on those, what all those dependent avenues are. Your revenue is dependent on sales. It's dependent on marketing. It's dependent on a viable service product or product. It's dependent on so many different things, streamlining, systems and methodologies. So you can't just put the blame on one area. And it's the same thing with what we're doing economically with our nation. Okay. They're looking at things and to me, they're concentrating too much on long-term and not enough on short-term. When they start talking about global warming and everything else and all this money going into that, yes, we need to worry about that, but we need to get a handle on what's going on here, first.
Yeah.
And
what you're talking about reminds me of there's something I learned recently. Like I used to have knee pain, and what I learned was it was the shoes I was wearing causing the knee pain. So you would think, oh, there's something wrong with my knee, but that wasn't the case. It was because I was wearing what I call these now foot coffins or toe coffins, right? Because they pretty much kill your feet.
Yeah.
So I don't wear sneakers as much anymore. I'm wearing I run in different things. I run barefoot essentially, things like that. And my knee pain has gone away. So you're right. When you find a problem or an effect, the cause might be somewhere else. And you've got to recognize that when you're in business. You
do. I recently went through, well, not recently, about my accident down in Brazil. And when I was going through my my recovery period or whatever, I was struggling because they kept wanting me for my PTSD, to go and talk to psychiatrists. Well, they always wanted to go back to my childhood. And I didn't have a very good childhood. I had accepted it. I had left it behind before the accident. And they kept saying, well, you need to go back. And, and I said, no, I don't. I was fine before the accident. I want to get back to where I was before the accident. Why do I have to do this? And, one thing led to another. And then eventually what happened was we figured out that the underlying problem with me, was the fact that I believed I could do anything. The mental was there, but I wasn't willing to receive the rewards because I knew once I received and accepted, I would have to deliver.
Yeah.
So when you think about that underlying, the underlying issue, even in business, there's something there. Your customers are dropping through the gaps, or, where are they dropping through the gaps? You need to ask your customers. You need to get feedback from your customers.
That's right.
That's right. You can't just assume what it is. Okay, this next one is where I put a big what.
Okay, what is it?
New in business, skip the marketing. Okay,
so,
where I come from, so. Absolutely.
So I'm going to preface this with, there's nothing wrong with marketing.
Yeah.
I I do want to clarify for people that are new in business, marketing at its purest form is an amplifier. It takes a message and it's a directional amplifier. It puts it into a specific channel and it puts more eyeballs on it. It makes it louder. And that's beautiful. We need marketing 100%. What I see people doing though, they look for the magic marketing pill. They're like, I don't want to work on my branding. I don't care about my sales conversion or anything. I just want, where's the easiest marketing thing I could find? And I just want to buy that and do it for me. They want the magic pill. That's what I'm talking about. When you're new in business, stay away from the marketing magic pills. Work on your brand, which is your message. Then from your brand, if it's compelling enough and people are like, wow, that's interesting, I want to learn more, you can actually go right to the sales conversation. You can really skip the majority part of this impersonal paid marketing and go and start getting your clientele going, start getting testimonials, start doing all the stuff that you can now feed into a real marketing plan. That's really what I'm talking about.
It's right back to the clarity. Okay.
Yeah.
Getting clear on what your message is, what your purpose is,
Yes.
your why is. Once you
But people want to skip that. That's the problem. A lot of new business owners want to skip that, and you can't skip that. Otherwise, you're amplifying garbage. You can go do all the marketing stuff you want, but it's going to be confusing and weird and garbage, and then it's not going to work.
Once you've got that clear message, that clear purpose in mind, it's easy for you to talk. It's easy for you to convert customers because that passion comes out.
Correct.
And that passion is what drives them. The passion is what draws them in,
Correct.
When you said skip the marketing, marketing is an umbrella, okay?
Yeah.
Marketing is a totalitarian umbrella that incorporates advertising, sales, networking, everything. Because when you think about it, marketing is that branding effort. It is that branding effort. And then you've got different ways of marketing is what you've got. So, but no,
I take the more pure form of marketing where it's branding, marketing, sales is your client acquisition funnel or, pipeline. So I kind of like to separate sales and branding out because they're so huge by themselves. Even if you don't have a marketing channel, for example, or you're not using, ads or a group or networking or something special, if you just have a good message and you know how to have a sales conversation, you can like pretty much, and that falls under your umbrella marketing, that's fine. But I like to kind of piece them apart to make it easier.
You can't have sales without marketing. You can't have marketing without sales. They are interdependent upon each other. Sales is from the door out. That's your man on the street type, of form of marketing, I guess you could say it. Marketing itself, that's the branding, that's the, that's the message that you're putting out there that the salespeople rely on to convert.
Yeah.
So it's hard to you do one without the other. It's hard to do one without the other.
Yeah.
Oh, wow. So we must cure Yams disease.
Oh, Yams disease. That's right.
That.
Wow. That's it's an affliction of networking circles. You see it when you go networking. And the problem is it's very contagious. You think COVID's bad? This is really contagious in networking. So here's how you know if someone has Yams disease. They present themselves like this. Hi, I'm Josh. I am in Orlando. I am in branding. I am looking for this kind of prospect. I am. That's all they say is just I am.
Yeah.
That's Yams disease.
Oh, you need to do a little meme on that. You need to do.
I've done some videos and stuff on that. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, I love it. I love that.
Yeah, because look, all that stuff we're going to list, when we list our name and our title, our borrow title, our business name, all that stuff on a first impression, no one cares about that stuff. That's not what you want to be leading with. That's wasted airtime when you have 60 seconds to give a networking pitch. Forget about the Yams.
Well, and plus you don't have to meet everybody the first time you go. or in
No.
one sitting. They talk about different ways of networking, from one corner of the room to the other corner, that type deal. First of all, business cards are going by the wayside.
Yeah. This isn't 1982
Now you've got
anymore.
the electronic business cards, things like that. Okay. Secondly, if you try and meet with everybody, okay, chances are you are going to be so exhausted. I call it sales fatigue is what it is. You're going to be so exhausted and you're not going to remember half of what's said. What I do is a rule of thumb, I'll pick maybe 2-3 people that I want to meet. And then I'm going to be back next time. And the next time I come back, I'll meet 2-3 more. Yeah. Okay. Networking is not a one-time event,
No.
So,
but when you have your 60 seconds, when you're in front of, let's say, the entire group, how you present yourself in those 60 seconds is the difference between burning another business first impression and having people actually approach you to learn more. And there's ways to do that 60 seconds that really are powerful versus I am, which no one cares about.
Very
all ego based.
Yeah. When I get in front of a group, or when I'm talking to somebody and they ask me, what do you do? And I said, well, I'm a business growth strategist. I work with micro businesses to help them build that infrastructure around their product or service offering that will help them succeed. And that's it. Yeah. That is it. Because that's all I'm doing. I'm showing them how to build that infrastructure in order to brand themselves, in order to brand their product or service offering, to clarify the message, whatever needs to be done. They've got a good product or service. They just don't know how to build a business around it.
Right. Right. So. You get that blueprint. You've got the how do you put this together? You're the instruction booklet. Like everyone's got these pieces of business. And you've got the instructions. You're holding the most important thing.
Yeah. Well, basically what it is a lot of these micro business. Where do I start? What do I do next? What's the next thing I got to do? That's where I bring the sequencing in. I bring that sequencing in and help them understand. Here's what you need to do first. You need to focus on this first. That type deal. So
you're a left foot, right foot. Okay, take your step. Left foot, step with your right foot, and before they know it, they're walking and then they're running.
And that's exactly it, and they don't realize how far they've gone. But that left foot, right foot, you might have to take a little bit of a pivot, depending on what's up front.
That's okay because you're balanced. You're actually now you can change course and stuff. So you know what you are? You're a running coach for business owners. That's all you're doing. You teach people how to walk. You teach people how to walk, then run.
Then run.
Isn't that?
Yeah.
That's really what you do. So. How you do it is with all the details and the structure of running a business, but you just teach them how to walk then run. That's what you do, which is great.
Anyway, you said identity is a responsibility if we don't want to be labeled incorrectly.
Yeah. We have to choose. People are like, well, it's not that you get to choose your own identity. You have to choose your own identity, which is what you stand for. It's really kind of what you stand for. It answers the question, what are you? Not who are you and not what do you do, but it answers the question, what are you? Because if you don't choose your own identity, if you don't choose what your life and your business is going to mean long-term, you're going to get labeled. You're going to get labeled with, let's say you sell insurance. You're just going to be another insurance person, another insurance agent. And that label is not going to serve you because there's 50 million insurance agents in the world, right? Or whatever your business is. So you've got to create your own identity, which is your unique version of how you're bringing your genius to the world, of how you're serving your clients. There's something unique about you, some genius, something you have. You've got to create that identity around that. Otherwise, you're going to get labeled as a commodity. That's no good.
I call myself the business birthing specialist.
There you go.
I think that says what it is that we do.
Yeah.
But you're absolutely right. That brand you build around yourself. And again, we're getting back to you're branding yourself, not your company.
Yes, exactly.
Not your product or anything like that. Apple is a product brand, but Apple is also known by
Steve Jobs and Wozniak and all those folks. Yeah.
And Steve Jobs is that brand behind Apple because of his imagination with his the way that he was able to come up with different ideas. So at that point, yes, even though we're buying Apple, we're buying that creativity, that ability to think outside the box. So we're buying.
Yeah, and I tell you what, when your company gets to a $500 billion valuation, you can brand your company too. That's fine. Yeah. But if you're a micro business, you're branding you. You are the face of your company. You are the heart of your company. You are the soul of your company.
Yeah. I saw an interview just yesterday. Microsoft's owner. What's his name?
The original owner or the current CEO? Bill Gates?
Yeah, Bill Gates.
Okay.
Oh my goodness. I just saw an interview with him, and I can't remember who it was with, but they were talking to him about when he started his business, and even now, where does he think what was going through his mind? Was it to become the biggest computer, that type deal or anything like that? And he said, no, he says, I was a programmer. He says, I was a software programmer. I wanted to do software programming. It just so happens that what I programmed ended up catching on, that type deal. So he came in from a different position with his business, not necessarily to make a bunch of money. That's not what he was originally trying to do, but it ended up being that,
Yeah.
So, you've got to get to the base. You got to get.
He was purpose driven.
Yeah, you've got to be purpose driven. And, I can't emphasize how much that purpose is what drives and converts. That purpose is what's going to convert. It's not going to be your product. It's not going to be your service. It's going to be you and your passion. So
that's right. Because behind you, your product and your service, for most people, it's a commodity. It can be easily duplicated by someone else, but what can't be duplicated is you.
Yes.
Your purpose, your stand, your story, your mission, your vision. All your uniqueness can't be duplicated. Well,
you're the soul behind your business. It's your soul behind the business. And if that isn't going to come out, then, it's just.
You're a commodity.
Yeah, that's exactly it, So, all right. Yeah. So how can people get a hold of you?
Easiest way is through my website, joshzepess.com, or find me on social media because I'm very active there, at Josh Zepess on all kinds of social media. And I'm the only one with that name, so don't worry. You won't get confused by anyone else. So
you're on LinkedIn, right?
Yeah, LinkedIn, Facebook.
Okay.
Yeah.
All righty. Yep. I'm going to go ahead and put that into the transcript so that we have it if anybody wants to see it.
Perfect.
Once this airs, it will be out on all of our streaming platforms, and it will be also on YouTube, so you can get a hold of it. Yes. So, well, that's it, guys. I want to thank you all for joining us today, and thank you once again, Josh. Make sure to leave a review on whatever podcast delivery platform you are on today, or go to the Charged Up Studio Facebook page and leave a review there. If you want to learn more about the different topics or skill sets associated with growing a successful business, visit our online learning platform, marketatomy.academy. I look forward to talking with you once again next week for another exciting episode where small businesses get charged up for success. Thank you once again. Talk to you next week.